Girls to the crib, maybe we can south.
Hey, so what's poppin', what's good? Thank you guys for visiting my YouTube channel, and today we are doing another cooking tutorial, and I am going to be using Premadonna's 14-in-1 pressure cooker. I am so excited because I never had a pressure cooker before, and I'm really excited to cook these items inside of here. So today I have some beef oxtails. I actually have 4 pounds of beef oxtails. I'm actually going to be making macaroni and cheese, and I'm going to be making cornbread, or I'm going to be making biscuits, either or, whichever one floats my boat. Here are all my seasonings that I'm going to be using in today's tutorial. So again, I'm going to be making Premadonna's Southern style oxtails, and I'm going to be making her Millionaire Mac-N-Cheese. Now here are all the things that her 14-in-1 pressure cooker can make. You can do everything from saute, slow cook, even baby food. Like, I'm surprised when I seen that baby food. But here is the recipe for her smothered Southern oxtails. And I probably won't smother them, just depends on what the husband likes. But here are all the ingredients, everything that you'll need. Her cookbook actually comes with the pressure cooker for free. That's a nice gift that I received. So let's get into it. So right here you can see that I have unpackaged my oxtails, and I'm actually cleaning them off. I don't care what no one says about cleaning meat. I'm going to clean my meat. I sanitized my sink beforehand, and now I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I get all the, ooey gooey, yucky stuff off of my oxtails. And then I'm going to go ahead and rinse them for a second time, which is what I'm doing. So I originally had 4 pounds of oxtails, but it's only 2 of us eating those. So I went ahead and broke it down just to 2 pounds. Now, my next step will be to pat my meat dry. I prefer to pat my meat dry just so that the seasonings stick. I feel like the seasonings stick very well on dry meat rather than wet, because if it's wet, then it's going to run down to the bottom of the container, and then it's not really going to have enough time to sit and marinate. Now I went ahead and grabbed my 1 tablespoon measuring cup, and I'm going to measure out 1 tablespoon of salt. I know it may look like a lot of salt, but it's a lot of meat. 1 tablespoon of pepper. 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. 1 tablespoon of McCormick's brown sugar bourbon. I'm actually going to go ahead and add another one just because I like that sweet and tangy taste. So instead of 1 tablespoon, we went ahead and put 2 tablespoons. Now we're going to do a tablespoon of the Saison Tropical. And a tablespoon of Greek seasoning. Now we're going to go ahead and mix all of these very, very well because I want them to marinate in the refrigerator for a few hours, but I want to make sure that I get the seasoning in every piece of meat, in every part. Look at that. That is amazing. Now I'm going to go ahead and wrap my container in foil, and I'm going to let this marinate in the refrigerator for approximately 2 to 3 hours, and then I'll be back. So it has been approximately 2.5 hours since I put my oxtails in the refrigerator. I went ahead and took them out because I want them to sit for 15 minutes so that the temperature can just even out. So in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to go ahead and chop up some onions because I want to saute them and add them to my pressure cooker. Now that my onions are chopped up, I'm going to put them off to the side and get my skillet ready so I can brown my oxtails so they are ready to be put in my pressure cooker. While my onions are off to the side, I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce to my oxtails. I'm not sure the correct measurement, but I just went ahead and, drizzled it across basically. And now time for the browning portion. So I got me a medium-sized skillet, and my heat is on medium-low, just so I can make sure that I brown all of these pieces evenly so that we capture all of that flavor and a nice crispy skin. Now I'm just going to let my meat sit in the pan and get a nice little crisp on one side, and then I will come back and I will rotate them onto a different side. Do you guys see how beautiful that looks? That looks amazing. It has a nice golden crispy color to it, and I'm pretty sure the flavor has set in amazing. Now since I have the smaller oxtails in the center, I've browned all of their sides. I'm going to go ahead and take them out because I actually do not want them to cook on the stove. I just wanted to brown them. So I'm taking out the smaller pieces just so that they don't cook. And I'm going to leave the bigger pieces in the pot and continue to brown them. Now that I have removed the meat from the skillet, I set the meat to the side and I'm going to go ahead and add my onions to the remaining grease and all of the seasoning particles that's still left inside of the skillet. I'm adding a little bit of browning to give it some color and some flavor. And I added about 1 teaspoon. I didn't thoroughly measure that out, but that was about 1 teaspoon of browning. Next, I'm going to add some minced garlic in there. I went ahead and added 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. We're going to stir that all together. Make sure that everything is evenly coated, evenly distributed. And in this case, it's highly recommended to use a non-stick pan because no one has time for that burning smell, the burning sound, and then, the ruining of your veggies. So non-stick is always the way to go. Next, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in some brown sugar. I'm actually sprinkling in 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. As I mix this all together, I'm actually going to let this cook down to a nice saute. Now that my onions are done, I'm going to prepare my pressure cooker. I'm scooping my onions in there. It's up to you. You can drain them if you want so that you don't have like the grease in your pressure cooker. But me, I preferred all the flavor, and a little bit of grease never hurt anyone. Next, I'm going to add some beef stock. I'm adding 1 cup of beef stock. And then I'm going to mix all of that together. Just give it a quick little whisk. And now that that's mixed together, I'm going to place my oxtails inside of the pressure cooker. Try to place your oxtails side by side, preferably not on top of one another. I personally don't like when my meat is on top of one another because sometimes it sticks together, it takes off the skin, and you just lose all that good flavor that it would have had if it sat on its own. Now it's time to close my pressure cooker. Make sure that it's completely sealed. Make sure that the pressure knob is not open because then it will releasing pressure, and we want to keep everything inside until the end. I turned my Premadonna pressure cooker on. I'm going to actually slow cook my oxtails. I'm slow cooking them on high flavor for 3 hours. And I'll see you guys in a bit. So while the oxtails are cooking, we're going to go ahead and prepare our Millionaire macaroni and cheese. I have a pot of water and I'm going to add some salt to it. And make sure that when you add your noodles that your water is at a high boil. Because once you have them to a high boil, you only have to cook them for about 7 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and let that sit there, and I'm about to prepare my cheese sauce. So I have some sharp cheddar. I have about 2 pounds of sharp cheddar, 1 stick of butter, 2 eggs, and 12 ounces of evaporated milk. We're going to pour the entire can, the entire 12 ounces of evaporated milk into the pot. I have my heat on a medium heat. I'm adding my 1 stick of butter, and I'm going to let that melt down, constantly stirring. Now I'm adding about half of the bag of sharp cheddar. So half a pound of this sharp cheddar I'm adding to the evaporated milk and my melted butter that's inside. I'm going to whisk this around with a fork or whichever utensil you decide to use, but you have to constantly keep stirring once you add the cheese. The last thing you want is for your cheese sauce to burn. So constantly stir. Now I'm adding some more cheese to my cheese sauce. This honestly depends on how cheesy you want your sauce to be. I wanted my sauce to be very cheesy for my macaroni and cheese. So the more cheese, the better. Do you guys see how rich and creamy my cheese sauce is? It's actually delicious. Sharp cheddar is my favorite type of cheese. The more cheese you add, the thicker your sauce will become. Now I'm adding my 2 eggs. And I'm going to stir that all together. Now you want to season your cheese sauce. The last thing you want is bland cheese. So I just season mine with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and continuously stir that sauce. Now that my sauce is done, I'm going to prepare my macaroni and cheese. So I went ahead and got my pan that I'm cooking my macaroni and cheese in. I'm going to place my noodles in there. The way we are doing this macaroni and cheese, we are doing it in layers. We're not just doing it all in one, we're going to do it in layers. For some odd reason, macaroni and cheese just tastes way better when it's in layers. So I'm layering the bottom of the pan. I'm going to sprinkle my cheese across the top. So I'm going to sprinkle my shredded cheese first. This time I'm going to sprinkle my shredded cheese on top, and then I'm going to add my cheese sauce. And the next time we do another layer, then it will be reversed. Now I'm going to add my cheese sauce, not all of it, but just a good amount. And I'm going to go ahead and combine all of this together. I'm using a fork mainly because I don't want to smush the noodles. And now we're going to layer it again. So this is my second layer of macaroni. And this time, instead of sprinkling the cheese, like I said I was going to reverse it, I'm going to add my cheese sauce. This is the remainder of my cheese sauce. I'm going to make sure that I get everything up out of this pot and onto this pan. Now we're going to gradually stir this in with the first layer. Now I'm going to add the remainder of my sharp cheddar onto the top of my macaroni and cheese. This will be the topping. Now it's up to you how you want to top your macaroni and cheese. I know some people top it as well with bacon. Some people top it with breadcrumbs. I just like the traditional topping, just to top it off with some cheese. Making sure that the cheese is evenly coated on top. And I'm going to put it in the oven. I have already preheated my oven to 350, and I should sit that in the oven for about a good 45 minutes. Now, my finishing results of my oxtails that have been slow cooking for 3 hours, they look amazing. They look absolutely amazing. All of that browning, all of that seasoning, all that flavor that's in there. The onions are sauteed at the bottom. Oh, they're going to be delicious. I'm so excited. I'm happy. Yes. So my husband actually did decide that he wanted his oxtails smothered in gravy. So I made a pan of homemade gravy on the side, and I went ahead and coated my oxtails in the gravy, and they came out amazing. They look absolutely amazing. They smell amazing, and I'm pretty sure they're going to taste amazing. Just look at all of that gravy, look at all of that flavor. It's truly wonderful. And so I would like to thank everyone for tuning in to my cooking tutorial. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'm going to leave all the ingredients in the description box below. So in the meantime and in between time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
You need to try it.
You like it?
Problem. If finding somebody real is your fucking problem, bring your girls to the crib, maybe we can solve.